All right, hello, Idiots on Parade, the Too Ugly for TV podcast. We mock the news so you don't have to. With me, as always, is Jake. Hello, Jake.
How's it going?
All is well here. Jake is a stand-up comedian in New York City. I am Nathan Timmel, stand-up comedian in Iowa City. And with us today is Larry Smith from somewhere stand-up comedian in Illinois, Springfield adjacent. Is it actually Springfield or is it Springfield adjacent?
I am Springfield adjacent. I am in an unincorporated village that has been surrounded by the city of Springfield.
Soon to be Chicago, though. Soon to be the windy city of Chicago.
Were you happy about Springfield surrounding you, or are you a separatist? Is this like an obscure Midwest IRA kind of situation?
It's a very broke dick IRA situation. We really didn't care so much as, I mean, some of us would like to maybe be a part of the city of Springfield so we can fix the enormous potholes, but there
you go.
But other than that, I mean, it's just one of those, the village was here and then the city of Springfield 40 years ago just kind of swallowed it. Yeah, it just swallowed
colonized. Let's call it what it is.
You guys, it's your fucking fault for not breeding enough. I blame you guys.
Oh, well,
Springfield saw an opportunity and took it.
Yeah, that's fine. I know. Look, I did my part. I made 3 kids, and consensually even. And so
well, there you go. There you go. Because the king of Springfield back in the 1600s had the whole prima nocta thing.
Exactly.
I remember seeing that movie.
Yeah, it was we fought against that. That's my wife and I when we got married. I was like, no king of Springfield is going to put his weird inbred penis inside my wife. The only inbred penis going in my wife is mine. Goddamn right.
Your family crest is a picture of Bart Simpson being beheaded. Fuck Springfield.
Yeah, but he's still on a skateboard saying "Don't eat my shorts." So
that's right. You make him eat his own shorts.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's what we do. Anyway, yeah, it's it's Springfield, soon to be Chicago. I'm glad to be here on Slow Kids Meet the Press. That's
well, let's jump in. I chose this topic first. Larry, I didn't tell you. I send you a bunch of links, but we don't do them in order. I chose this one to go first because of Jake's absolute love for therapy and therapists. Whenever Jake is feeling sad, he goes to see a therapist. He's got 3. Sometimes he bounces from therapist to therapist to therapist. And so Jake is all about the therapy. He's going to tell you in a second. So I chose this story.
I'm court ordered. I don't like any of them. It is a sham profession. I put them at 2 steps above Reiki healers.
Wait, above. Okay, for a second. Here we go. So here's the story. When therapists lose their licenses, some turn to the unregulated life coaching industry instead. So what happens is we've got a couple therapists in here. They focused on Utah, but I'm assuming this is nationwide. There was one dude that was diddling his patients, had inappropriate contact with his female patients, multiple ones, and lost his license. But they just jump into life coaching.
And the worst part of the whole experience is when he sat there with a smug look on his face, asking them, "How does that make you feel?"
Well, I think the worst part is he demanded the copay before.
That's right. He fucked her twice.
See, now that would have been legal outside of Vegas, in what is it, Parham or whatever, in Nevada. They could, if he's gonna fuck him and get paid, he could just call himself a prostitute.
Yeah.
I have never understood life coaches because it makes sense to me that it's sort of like, oh, I sort of dropped out of school before becoming a therapist, or I was a therapist that got caught doing inappropriate things, and so I had a buddy that kept talking about getting a life coach. He's like, I'm thinking about getting a life coach. And I kept asking him why. He couldn't get a reason. Oh, they help you. No, they don't. But then my favorite part was, I'm just sort of rambling here. My buddy's life was sort of fucked up and chaotic. And so he thought a life coach might help him. And somewhere along the path of, I'm thinking of getting a life coach, he said, you know what, maybe I should be a life coach. I'm like, is this anybody just can call himself a life coach? Is all you need a website? Because that's what it seems like from the article is you literally just call yourself a life coach. And if someone is dumb enough to give you money, then you can say, oh, wow, yeah, your marriage sounds hard. Have you 2 tried talking or fucking more or whatever?
It's like the supplement industry with less regulations.
It's the equivalent of when a stand-up comedian sucks at being a stand-up, so they become a motivational speaker instead.
Or
Yeah.
they teach
One-man show.
comedy
It's the one-man
classes.
show of therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they start teaching comedy classes. I know a couple that have done that. That they just
Yeah, I'm waiting for that class action lawsuit to happen. Never went to one of the classes, but I will be rooting them on and sharing their GoFundMe link when they sue every single comedy coach because they're still not funny and still haven't made it. And the industry wasn't at the graduation show.
I liked at least there was one in here. Ethan Prete, what I told the Tribune that Hildebrandt. Hildebrandt is the life coach. Hildebrandt said that after she lost her license to be a therapist, she, quote, didn't want to be limited by the regulations therapists have to follow in Utah, because that's where, but it's like, without all these rules and regulations, now I have free reign to actually change people's lives because the system is corrupt. Yeah, I anybody that wanders in saying, I can fix you, I can help you, I don't have a license, why are you listening to them? You got to be afraid of someone like that. Like, oh, these regulations are holding me back. I would love to see someone in the food industry pull this one out. Oh, the FDA is stifling our creativity. This meat is only a week past its expiration. We can just repurpose it. It's expired meat, but we're going to make a stew out of it. Now it's healthy stew.
Tired of the man coming in here and telling my employees to wear gloves, ruining the food.
Wash your hands after using the bathroom. What are you, a communist? Get out of here, FDA.
There was a group of people in the 40s that told employees to wash their hands. They were called Nazis. I think not.
No, my grandpas didn't fight in the Pacific Front against not Nazis specifically directly for you to tell me that I have to wash my hands.
That's
every time. Every time.
Everything with you is adjacent. So the Japanese in World War II were Nazis adjacent because because they were on the side of the Nazis.
Yeah, it's all axis of evil. Hey, if I would be since we brought up Nazis, I'd be remiss not to mention because my wife will listen to this episode, and Wolfgang Puck, good evidence he's a Nazi. Anyway, go ahead.
Nice.
All right. When the lawsuit comes, Larry said that. What I want to know is, I'm reading through the article again for a second time. Hildebrandt, the woman I just mentioned, she was convicted of abusing 2 children. So that's what the free reign gave her, is no regulations. But I can't see, was it mental abuse? Was it physical abuse? Like, you aren't listening to me, smack, now you'll pay attention. Did they get into detail of what she did when she was unregulated?
I didn't see it, no. I think that they're kind of worried about like defamation shit these days, so they didn't really want to go too far into it. It's, to be fair, it's not really so much what the article is about. The article seems to be more about like these people went into basically snake oil salesmen who were too loosey-goosey to be therapists. And like I said, that is a sham industry anyway. Their hero is a coked up German man who wanted to fuck his mom and tried to gaslight the rest of the human race into thinking that we kind of did too. All right. They're out of their mind. It is a sham organization. It is filled with vagaries and nonsense. If what you're preaching to people is too vague to fit into their whole self-help book, vague therapy nonsense speak, if what you're saying doesn't fit under that wide umbrella that has been cast nowadays, then you're out of your fucking mind. You're full on. You are the Alex Jones of therapists. If therapy in 2024 will not accept the shit that you're throwing out.
Jay,
if I'm Larry, before you go, this is why I wanted this article first, because as I said, Jake loves therapists. Go ahead, Larry.
No, I was just curious how his blood pressure was. You're supposed to have cats are supposed to help bring that blood pressure down. I saw the cat there and I was like, wow, the
cat took off when he started ranting.
Well, I was like, imagine if the cat wasn't there,
he
would just.
Here's my favorite part of the story.
Therapist gave me that cat, said it would help. It didn't. Bunch of goddamn crooks.
That wasn't a therapist. That was just an unhoused guy on the corner. It was like, you take this cat. It's yours.
And even he technically counts as a therapist now. And these fucking life coaches.
He's a life coach.
He's a life coach.
Yeah. That's right.
Here's my problem with I'm the other direction. Jake and I, we always come around to this. We like to victim blame a lot because the victims in this case, it gets down to what's the guy's name? The guy I mentioned earlier, Ethan. He was seeing Hildebrandt. The help he was seeking came with a cost. To start, he had to pay a monthly charge to participate in a group video call every Saturday morning. He paid another weekly fee to be a part of a small men's group. On top of that, he paid weekly to meet one-on-one with Hildebrandt. In total, he was spending more than $1,000 a month. Okay, if you are spending $1,000 a month for all this shit, you are, a cunt hair away from being taken in a Nigerian prince scam. You are a phone call away from, oh, I need to pay my taxes and Apple gift cards because I got a phone call from a guy that speaks broken English. The people getting taken advantage of here are gonna fall for something. Like,
you don't deserve that $1,000 if you gave it to a life coach. That's what I say. You deserve to get got. See, now life coaches and therapists, two scams. But here's why I'm more mad at therapists and I'm pro life coach is because therapists are kind of like the Elizabeth Holmes of scammers, to where it's like, I can kind of see why people fell for that. You know what I mean? Like, she had all these high credentialed people around her. Whereas the life coach people are kind of like the people who were working with the Firefest guy, to where I'm like, you got by that guy? That was the criminal mastermind who tricked you, this 24-year-old in boat shoes with a pop collar sitting there going, our card's kind of like money, but not real money, but better than money, but definitely not money. And a bunch of people bought it. Now I'm going to have a concert on an island with no contracts. Like, what? Like, you fell for that? That's sort of how I feel about the life coach people. Is anybody who got involved with that Billy McFarland guy on any sort of financial or business level, I view them as this asshole in the article who dumped $1,000 into a life coach. He deserves to get got. If this was the wild, he would be the gazelle that gets eaten by a lion day one.
The rest of the herd left behind on purpose. The rest of is like, Gimpy over here is going to run slower than us. We're not going to wait for Gimpy. This is not no child left behind, no gazelle left behind. This is literally Gimpy gets eaten. And
he keeps alerting the lions to our location at night. He keeps falling for these scams. The lions are dressed like a hot piece of elk ass, and he falls for it every time.
And I have two thoughts. One, to finish up on this guy that got took. He was trying to save his marriage, and she told him not to communicate with his wife because, in a marriage, what's communication but a bunch of bullshit? Make sure you just live in separate bedrooms and don't talk to one another. But two, going back to victim shaming, every single dumb fuck that bought a ticket to that concert. The promotion was, we're going to get a bunch of influencers who you shouldn't be fucking listening to in the first place to change their picture on Instagram to, was it an orange blocker or something like that? So as you swipe through, you're like, wait, why is everybody that's awesome have an orange? I better buy a ticket to that. You're dumb. You deserve to be taken advantage of. I rarely have any sympathy for people that fall for these fucking scams.
No. And look, I feel bad for them to a point. I mean, these people deserve to fucking go to jail or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you should have seen it come. Did you see the doc recently about the TikTok dancers cult? That one?
No.
So there's
fill me in. What is this?
Okay, so it's this Jesus freak guy. Started a Jesus cult, and he ended up, I can communicate directly with God and Christ and just come here and live in these houses.
So the Pope?
No red flags there. Zero red flags.
Well, exactly. I'm glad you made the Pope comparison right away. This is why nothing will happen to this guy. He's going to be tried like next year in 2025. Basically, he had all these people live in these houses that he made, and then he had them go to work as employees at legitimate businesses, coffee shops, realtor things, and he would give them like full-time pay, but then they're, their managers or whatever, because it's like a hierarchical thing.
Pyramid scheme.
Write these checks out to this guy and you'll get more blessings. We need checks here. And they would sign out all the money that they got paid legitimately from these businesses. And then there was like these women go, I was sexually assaulted because he told me if I gave him a naked massage blindfolded, I'd be closer to Christ. And it's like, look, if he's saying do this and you'll get an acting role, he can go to jail because now that's like a career thing. That's sort of in a way like he's your boss. If he's going, hey, jerk me off and you get on this spaceship and you'll be one of the apostles in the afterlife, whatever kind of shit, that falls under the umbrella of like you were a consenting adult and doing this shit for religious bullshit.
He lied to you and you fell for it. Yeah.
That's
why
the money to the life coach. It's like you gave it as you're not a child. This guy didn't fucking like hold a gun to your head and be like, now listen to me tell you what's wrong with your life and give me money. You gave it to him willingly. Sorry, he's a piece of shit. I hope he's eaten by wolves. But legally, I don't think there's a whole hell of a lot. You're a fucking adult. I don't like these the cult documentaries and the articles like this going, oh, but they didn't. Oh, but they were taking advantage of. They didn't know. They didn't like. They're adults with complete agencies to their own fucking checking accounts. This is the price of freedom. If you give it to a huckster like this, then you get what you get.
I'm going to say something horrible that'll get me canceled. The kids aside, I felt the same way in Waco when David Koresh went down, when everything went up. I'm like, I feel bad for the kids because they are innocent little, they didn't know. But any cultists in there, like, come on.
Anyone that went in as an adult. Now, especially people that got brought there as kids, different story.
Different
people that
story.
Were born in cults, different story. You know, I have a hell of a lot more sympathy for people that were born into cults, taken to them as a kid, whatever. But if you're just like, oh, I was 27 and bored and didn't know what to do, so I branded this guy's initial on my ass and chained myself to his radiator because I wanted to ride on a spaceship. Like, what do you?
I remember people were outraged. I'm like, what are you outraged for? And then I read a book about David Koresh within the past couple of years, like recently. And basically, he was a batshit insane cult leader that people follow. It's like, well, this is what happens when you join a cult sometimes. Jonestown taught us nothing. Waco taught us nothing. Heaven's Gate taught us nothing. The next one, people like, oh, I can't believe. I get it. Leave the kids out of it.
The David Koresh doc on Netflix a couple years back?
Maybe, but I don't think so.
Dude, they interview a lady that was in Waco, like as an adult, I'm pretty sure, like young adult, but she's like in her 40s or 50s now. She's still all in on it. She's still like, they shot my Lord and Savior, those pricks. Can you imagine? For the last 25 years, she's been walking past crucifixes outside of churches going, he didn't look anything like that. He should have a denim shirt and bullet holes in him. Come on now. Oh, you going to pray to God in there, Father? I sucked God's cock back in 1992 on the compound. You got nothing on me.
My God needed glasses.
That's right.
I want the t-shirt that says I sucked God's cock in 1992.
Yeah. And it have like Waco on it. Have a picture of
it. Looks like a concert t-shirt or like like a Woodstock t-shirt.
I hate to go political, but
on the compound back in 1992, all I got was this lousy shirt and one bullet hole on my shoulder.
And eternal salvation upon my death. I hate to go political, but everything you described makes me think of Trumpers. I don't want to go down that path, but it's like, have you not lived through the past since 2016? When he whatever.
Well, I'm not even saying people that vote for, but the people who are gonna
who are all in, like the cultists.
Yeah, man,
self-reflection is not their strong suit.
The ones that say the ones that get you've all seen these video clips. The ones that literally say, "Do you believe Joe Biden is president?" No, I believe Trump is president. Oh, so Trump is at fault for the Afghanistan pullout? Well, no, because there are separate things. You got to read the Constitution. But Trump is in charge. Yes, Trump is the president, so he's to blame for the economy you don't like. Well. No, because the shadow Biden they get so lost in saying, yes, Trump is president, but he's not responsible for all the things they want to blame Biden for because Biden's not president, even though he's the cultists are the ones I'm talking about.
And he let him storm the Capitol and then go to prison and didn't say shit for like 2 years. He did not, all this calling them hostages and all that. None of that speak was going on for the first 2 years after it happened. He didn't say shit.
We've been over this. Larry, we need a ruling. You're going to be the deciding factor. Jake, you just heard what Jake said. My stance is Trump is a genius because he held on to that stuff and didn't say it so he could run on it this time and make it a campaign promise. I say that's Trump being smart. He ignored him in prison, and only now is he saying, I'm going to pardon them so they'll vote for him again.
He's being smart in that he was trying to stay out of jail the first couple years, and then he was like, I'm running on it anyway because it looks like they're still pressing charges. So
yeah,
I'm just gonna run again and fucking try to pardon myself.
Look, the fact that either of you have used the term smart and Trump in the same sentence just completely negates either argument on for me. So I can't really be the deciding factor.
He's my life coach. He's so goddamn smart.
Oh shit. Never mind. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Trump University.
You know what?
Jake, that should have been your closing shout. That should have been your Trump is my life coach. The last thing you'd yell.
We'll edit it in post. It's fine. Yeah. But I will say, as in terms of children born into cults, have you guys been following the story of a woman named R. Derek Black?
No.
Okay. So she is a trans woman who was formerly the son of the former Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan and Nazi founder of this Nazi site called like Stormfront or something like that.
I've heard of Stormfront.
Yeah, but it was he was on like Jenny Jones as like a 10-year-old boy, all about the white supremacist movement that his dad was in, and then went to college and all that, and was like, oh, this is fucked up, and then
those liberal professors turned her.
Right, yeah. And so they wrote a book called the Klansman's Son, and while writing the book, came out as transgender. She's a woman now, and she came out as transgender to her Grand Wizard father by sending him a copy of the book. That's amazing. Like she's my favorite person on the world, because you want to make a Grand Wizard shit his white robes. Oh my God!
Like, technically, the Grand Wizard wears red ones, but anyway, that's
yeah. Wow, really? You knew that quick. That really
don't ask. Look,
trivia. Is that what it is? Was that a Jeopardy question that you had memorized?
I just watched Blazing Saddles a lot when I was a kid. That's yeah. Right. Anyway, I gotta go. Bye.
You want to talk embarrassment? You want to talk embarrassment? Yours is a little better, but this is pretty good. The Haktua girl is going viral right now. Do you both know what that is?
She's going to be a Congress one day.
I hope so. Do you realize that whatever further complicating matter? Vickers, her name is Katie Vickers is the girl.
If she turns out to be the daughter or niece of a Republican senator,
we're close. We're close. No, not senator, but the daughter of Harley Vickers, the prominent pastor of the Little Hope Baptist Church in Paducah. No. This isn't the kind of attention we wanted for our family, said Reverend Vickers, asking for privacy during this difficult time. Here's my favorite part. He says privacy during this difficult time. We hoped she'd spread the good word, not become a national.
She spread something.
Her response is she remains unapologetic, however, saying, I was just being myself. I never imagined it'd get this big. Right. Good for her.
I love you, Hawk Tui girl. You and R. Derek Black are my favorite people. My favorite people. It's just hers is almost as good as I think R. Derek Black's is a little bit better because she sent the copy of the book to the family. Because the name alone doesn't even necessarily say that you're against the Klan or trans. So this dude got the copy of the book in the mail and saw R. Derek Black, the Klansman's son. Goddamn right she is, boy. That's right. You tell these liberals and these commies, let's spread the message of white power. Oh no. What do you mean my son doesn't like the Klan anymore? There can't be anything else in this book that would possibly piss me off anymore. Oh, I kicked the camera again. I swear.
Funny. What do you think happened first? Do you think he read a little of it, or do you think he saw the back, the author's photo on the back and freaked out? Like, that's my book. What? Oh shit! Like, do you think he looked at the picture first and realized what was up, or cracked it open the cover and sort of started leafing through it?
I would imagine that is a good, but he probably read the description first, right? Yeah. Because, and also
you guys are making a big leap that this guy knows how to read.
That's true. He's
someone has to read Mein Kampf. It doesn't sell itself. Someone has to buy it.
That's right. How's he going to read all those Robert R. Lee postcards he gets on that guy's birthday every year from the rest of his buddy?
All right. Complete aside, the Haktua girl. If there's one thing that makes me skip over porn or next bit is when they spit on the dick. I don't like it. I whenever I'm watching it, and she was, it's a turnoff to me. So I think this girl is a hero for what she said, but I actually don't like the act. You guys want to share?
Go ahead and spit on it. It deserves to be disrespected.
All right.
Mine anyway. I know that's just.
I don't look at it as disrespect. I just look at it as kind of gross.
It's look. I'm going to tell you right now. Like most men. Nathan, I know you're different, but most of us are just monster goblin asshole. No, it doesn't matter if a woman were to pull away and while in the middle of the act, pull away, give you a wink, spit, and go right back down. You'd be like, well, it's still happening. Here we go.
I wouldn't stop her. I'm saying when I'm watching it. When I'm watching it, I feel in the moment I would not. It's not like, oh, now we're done. I wouldn't stop. No. But I don't like seeing it.
Yeah, I'm not going to stop even if it is on film. It's like, well, that's just her thing. She can do it. That's fine.
Hey, it's her OnlyFans. What am I, the director?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
What am I, Scorsese, or am I just some guy with a heart on? Come on now.
Right. Yeah. Look, I'm looking at this for free. I'm not going to complain.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is my therapy. You two have life coached me. I am too judgmental. That's what I'm getting. That's what I'm getting from this.
You're just now figuring that out. Jesus Christ.
Well, I've known it forever. I've just never cared.
I think I would hire the Hawk Chewy girl or our Derek Black as a life coach. With that kind of, although I think if you are going to be a life coach, the way to do it is you gotta sound like a coach. I want to be a life coach, but I'm just going to yell at people like Mickey from Rocky. Like, you got to wake up earlier. You got to shave in the morning. You got to eat your vegetables, kid. You're sad because you're not eating right.
Fuck that chicken. Is that was
not a chicken?
Sorry, don't fuck chickens. Okay.
Don't fuck. Stop. Get your dick out of that chicken, kid. Yeah, whatever the problem is.
Yeah.
I'll still yell.
Are you fucking chickens? Stop fucking chickens. You're not fucking enough chickens. Start fucking the chicken.
That's what I was just gonna say. Whatever they're doing, you tell them to do the opposite. Oh, I'm sad. Well, what are you doing? Well, I get up every day and go to work. Quit your job. Oh, my marriage is pretty good. Okay, if it's not great, quit your marriage. Whatever makes it. Tell them to do the opposite.
Your spouse. That's what we're saying.
And that waiter she's been sleeping with, kid. You gotta stab the waiter too.
What? She's been sleeping with a waiter? Oh, I'm
right.
Sorry.
That's right. Not even the manager. Not even so much as a sous chef.
It's a busboy.
Matters into your own.
It's not even a full-on waiter. He's in training.
Let's jump back to politics quick as we hit we're running out of time a little bit. I sent you this. Speaking of Trump, Biden's 50 million ad campaign. I'm not nervous because I don't want to say I don't care, but I don't know. I think Trump could pull this one off in a squeaker because he's campaigning. He's going to places like San Francisco, the Bronx. He's just trying to siphon off. I read an article about how he's going into Michigan to try and win over disaffected Arabs who, again, Jake and I have talked about this, the idea that, Trump is going to do anything better for the Middle East. He's all in on Israel. He's the one that moved the capital to Jerusalem, but Biden's not campaigning. He's not selling himself. He's got a $50 million ad campaign that's basically don't vote for Trump because he's Trump. It's like, I don't know that that's going to work. I think he needs to campaign. I don't know if he has it in him.
The sad part of it, they were leaning on he's a felon, but they've already started selling T-shirts that say, "My president is a felon."
Yeah,
and I'm like, and that also makes him seem cooler, guys. It does. Like, I want to be like, my president's a felon too, but I don't know.
Yeah. I'm torn. I think they should bring it up. I don't know if you want to make that the focal point of the campaign. I will say, to the point of he needs to be doing more campaigning. He was in Michigan last weekend. He was in Pennsylvania recently. Like, he is going around the country and campaigning. He's going to swing states. He's doing what needs to be done. I still think he'll win. I do like that you're saying, well, Trump might win in a squeaker. I respect that argument. You know what I mean? If people frame it like that, the people that bug me are the ones who act like, I can't believe the Democrats are still going with Joe Biden. He's got no chance against Trump. Completely pretending as if these two didn't just face off in an election a few years back, and it completely ignoring the outcome of how that went.
Well, there are two things. One, the debate that's coming up very soon will be a really important factor as to, is Joe sleepy and just sort of incoherent and rambly? But two, going back to what Larry said, hey, Democrats, DNC, the powers that should be listening to us right now, this whole fucking he's a convicted felon, throw it out. Abortion, abortion, abortion. They've got how many fucking Supreme Court judges? That if you that's what Democrats have been winning on, not the economy, not the border. I think they should talk about the border. Hey, remember when we had a bipartisan deal and they didn't, and the Republicans didn't do shit? They should bring that up every day. We had a bipartisan deal written by Republicans. What's the Oklahoma senator, Jake?
Oh, land something.
You said it in the past. Either way.
Yeah.
And so Biden signed an executive order that will get fought in the courts, just like the one Trump signed. Trump signed one that got fought and shot down in the courts. Biden signed the same thing. It's good, but fucking push the abortion thing. This whole, and now we're going to contrast him with a convicted felon. No one cares. No one gives a fuck.
And what bothers me is I hate Trump. I've hated Trump. I've always found him to be a slimy. Even when I was like a little kid, I saw him on TV.
He'd be on Letterman, and I never understood why Letterman was interviewing him.
But on paper, this guy should be someone I like. He fucks porn stars.
Right.
He's a criminal. He doesn't give a shit. Like, he's middle fingers all the way. This guy should be someone that I'm like, I gotta vote. I mean, this guy seems cool as shit. But I can't stand him because, well, one, he's a hateful asshole who also leans then on other hateful assholes to get.
They should focus more on that. Yeah.
But that's the thing. They tried. Hillary tried to talk about all of the hate groups that backed him, and then everyone took that out of context, and they're like, "Well, I'm deplorable too." Like, no, you're a farmer in the Midwest who just got told that she thinks you're shitty, and that's not, you just misunderstood it. But again, on paper, this guy should be somebody that I think is cool and I want to vote for. But I can't. I had an argument with somebody that was going around. We have this music festival over the summer here in Springfield, and it's free. It's once a week, and she was like coming around trying to get signatures for a third party candidate, and I was like, I can't. I always do that because I hate the two-party system. I feel like we need, but I was like, this is too important this year this election to be distracted.
Fuck, we don't have time to get to it. That's one thing they talk about. RFK saying that COVID was designed to spare Chinese people and Jewish people. That's the third party candidate we have right now. That's the hope for people. They're like, RFK literally on tape and just all in, like, well, you have to understand that we've been doing ethnic bioweapons and COVID was designed, except he's saying it like, hey, no COVID, with his fucking vocal flair. I wish we had that, but my God, to be on record and speaking clearly, saying, because the one thing with RFK is I've seen a lot of interviews with him where they hit him with something he said, and he's like, well, it was taken out of context. You have the full minute of context here of saying COVID was designed to spare Chinese and Jewish people.
Right. Yeah. The third party candidates are always better than the mainstream candidates until they're not. They say things that make a whole lot of sense that nobody in the two-party system is talking about, and then they say the wildest fucking thing you've ever heard of, to where it's RFK, like, oh yeah, this is why neither party would fuck with you right now.
RFK has an out right now, though. He can, like, that wasn't me talking. That was the brain worm. That was
Is it?
He took over for a second. He's my life coach. My little brain worm life coach that got installed.
Got fired as a therapist a long time ago. This brain work.
Oh yeah. He's no good as a therapist. He didn't like being inside the boundaries of therapy. He wanted to work outside the boundaries.
All right, one final story, Larry. This is a follow-up. That's why it's not a big one. Jake, I don't know if you saw it, read it, but horrible bad news. Something that nobody could have seen coming except for fucking everyone. U.S. soldier convicted of theft in Russia, sentenced to nearly 4 years in prison. Jake and I talked about this guy a while ago. He was in was it in South Korea he was stationed in, I believe, and he met a Russian girl and she went back to Russia. They were in a fucking relationship where they'd fight, and his mom said, well, he got clawed once and she bloodied him up. So it was a really loving relationship that a life coach probably told him to stay in. Life coach probably told him, you should follow her to Russia. So a United States soldier.
The Russian life coaches are wild too. They're wild, you know. Stay with her. Have you tried giving her vodka? Have you tried
bringing her moose and squirrel?
So he went to Russia, got arrested. The point is, Jake and I said when we were talking about, don't go to Russia. And this article is full of like several other like business people and other Americans that were in Russia. Paul Whelan, reporter Evan Gershkovich, detainees Travis Lee, a musician. What are you thinking? The instant your passport clears, Russia's like, ooh. At some point, we'll just snatch them up and use them as sort of, propaganda. Like they will invent a reason to fucking. Don't listen to Tucker Carlson. Stay the fuck out of Russia. Final thought, Larry. It looks like you want to say something. Then we got to promote ourselves.
While that was interesting, that story, the more interesting story was right underneath that, and on the link that you sent me about the mobster Tony Cakes, who was walking across the street and was oopsie doodle accidentally hit by a truck. And do you know what happened when he got hit by a truck?
His face got taken off. His head.
His head.
Dude, see, the story I have is Salt Lake City police arrest 20 people along Jordan River Trail using undercover officers. That's my fault. All right, we gotta promote ourselves. Jake can be found at Jake Vevra on all social media. You can also watch Twisted Cupid live every Thursday on YouTube. I can be found at nathantimmel.com, where you can find links to my t-shirt store, my 1 hour special on YouTube, and my Amazon author page. Larry, where can people find you?
That's my website, larrysmithcomedy.com. It's got links to everything, including my t-shirt store as well, with all of my original designs.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us today, Larry. Thanks, Chicago's Comedy Radio Scene Network, whatever you are. All right. Take care.
My life coach told me never to talk to the feds or I'd get whacked by a cement truck.